You messaged me saying this kiss that they did was so romantic when Joker comes into the room and just throws himself onto her. And I was watching that like, what? Romantic? This man is coming from a murder scene. He's sweaty. He is bloody. He's got smell of murder on him, smell of subway on him. And he's like, just goes and kisses this girl.
He has this confident walk and he's done something. Like he's a man now. His testosterone is so high. He just killed another man. It's like a gorilla that like just killed his rival and he's coming to mate. So,
Oh, God. Hey pals, welcome to another episode of the Plot Pals podcast.
Hey pals, my name is Anna and I'm here with Maral here, who never leaves the studio ever at all.
Have you seen what it's like out there, Murray? Do you ever actually leave the studio?
And I'm going to tell a joke. Are you ready for another joke?
Oh, what are you
Are
gonna
you?
do here to me? I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
And you had to look that up?
And here we are with Joker 1. Oh my god, you guys. I'm so shocked. Why didn't you tell me about this movie?
Everyone was having existential crises after watching this movie.
Oh my.
And so no one was talking about it after because it's such a dark, dense, serious topic.
Yeah.
And then here comes Anna and she's like, this is my new favorite movie. Why did no one tell me about this?
I love it. Every time he's doing something like really bad, I'm like, yes, baby, do it. Come on. You got this. I'm like the new Harley Quinn. Yeah.
You're like the
Supporting
girlfriend who's so supportive all the time.
Yeah.
She comes to the hospital with him.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
gonna be you. So here's the thing about this Joker character. He has invigorated sense of being alive for the past like 50 years, 100 years. I don't know how long the
Yeah.
character has existed, but people have always been drawn to him as opposed to Batman, as opposed to whoever the hero of the story is.
Yeah.
Since he was first written, and it's this man who was mentally ill, he puts clown makeup on and he kills. And yet every girl, like teenage girl, mother, father, probably, boys,
Yeah.
young men, everyone likes Joker so much. What's
And
up
he's
with that?
so toxic. Like, what is the reason exactly? What is up with us? We are so like, we have a problem, I guess.
Seriously.
Like, Batman is such a snob with his like tuxedo and like he's really wealthy and like he's like walking around always like chic and everything.
and that's not what we go for? What's
That's
wrong
like
with us?
so unrelatable, I guess. That's why people don't connect with that. And women at least love bad boys to an extent, you know?
I guess, but I mean, that man's name is Batman. So you think they would have loved him.
I know,
But
right?
no. You know what it is? What's up with young women going for Joker over Batman? I was sitting down and contemplating this. And so I wanted to just give you a quick rundown of what you're
What did you
facing.
come up with? Yeah.
Batman has a six-pack. He works out every day. His parents are loaded. And they are also dead. So you never have to compete for attention.
That's right.
This is Batman. He has a Batmobile. He has a cave. He has a house. He is literally a billionaire. Okay?
Like, that's such a douchebag thing. He has a Batmobile. What the fuck? And his phone is probably Batmobile. And his, like, service provider is something, like, Bat-related, you know? Why? This is, like, such
He has a theme,
snobbish guy. Yeah.
a logo. Well,
So
you know,
posh.
Joker also has a logo. Of course, his logo is the outfit, like the
clown
makeup, yeah, green hair. But yet, when you look at Joker, like this man is thin. He never eats. He's bruised up. His hair is thinning. He's probably gonna go bald soon. He's pulling his teeth. His teeth are crooked. He's literally
He's loosening his mouth all the time.
he's
like
loosening
that.
his mouth. He's just dancing around most of the time too.
He's so corny. He says dad jokes. Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah,
what is up
he
with
doesn't
this?
know what's funny. He doesn't. He's just like, he has no friends. He lives with his mom, and yet you feel like you.
Such a turn off, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, I can't get over this. My new crush. Oh my God. I'm obsessed. And to a point that I'm so glad I watched it now because Joker 2 is coming out as well. So I'm like,
So soon. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you have to watch Joker 1 again before Joker 2 comes out.
That's right. That's why we did this review today. And we want to do it because Joker 2 is coming really early, October 4th or
October
something.
4th.
Oh my god. So we know what is the new Halloween costume is going to be this year.
100%. That's even why they brought it out
Yeah.
a few weeks before Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's dressing up like Joker. For sure.
Yeah. I better get my costumes from Temu really quickly. It takes a long time to come from China. You know? Yeah, but
to
I'm
get
going to
into
be
it.
Harley Quinn again this year.
Oh,
probably.
smart.
Did you see Lady Gaga? She's in Joker too, and like her outfit, she's singing, and apparently it's a musical. What do you guys think about
I think
that?
it makes so much sense. If you look at this one, music is playing from the first minute until the last. Either it's like, of course, there's the violins and the sad stuff, but a
He's
lot of the
dancing.
times, it's these like bangers. It ends with this.
Yeah.
What is it? There's some kind. Oh yeah, in a white room with black curtains. Anyway, so music is a huge part. And then, of course, he's literally dancing for most of the film.
Yeah.
So it makes so much sense to me that the second one is straight up called a musical.
Yeah, but do you think like is it gonna be mostly in his mind then? Because like in the first Joker, the scenes that there was music, dancing, or like some lover was involved in his story, it was all in his head.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much of it is it going to be delusion, you know?
Exactly.
And you know, the thing is, we say that every woman is so attracted to Joker, and like I have such a huge crush on him. But like specifically, I have a crush on this Joker because we saw his vulnerable side and why he is the way that he is, and he's not such a maniac. Okay, cut the guy some slacks. All right. He is just having some problems, all right?
Yes,
But, like,
somebody
little-
bullies him on the subway station and he pulls out his gun.
Everybody
Three
is bullying.
people.
Everybody is bullying him all the time. Okay, I will die on this hill. I'll defend this guy with all my life.
Oh my god, he's dancing in a children's hospital and his gun falls out of
It's
his
part of his
pants.
bit. It's part of his
No.
bit. It's just like, you
I
know,
don't buy
Charlie
it.
Chaplin kind of dance. It's just part of his play. You know?
To kids.
I mean, yeah. It's just part of the act.
He's straight up
He's such an
walking around like
artist.
he's just too thin to be even allowed. We shouldn't allow people so thin into society. His bones are coming right out of his
Bro.
skin. He's just standing around.
He's authentic. He's himself all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, even before we talk about Joker himself, this movie is so good at balancing, taking this old comic book story,
Yeah.
plus making it the most human, like down to earth, and like about mental illness and about anger issues and like
Right.
parental, how you grew up and everything.
Yeah.
It's so grounded and like such a drama if you think about it.
Crazy.
And yet it's still like funny, absurdly. And it's, again, like you say, horror sometimes. So it balances so many different genres like this.
That's exactly what the
Successfully.
director wanted. So they wanted another universe. This Joker is basically not in the usual universe, the comic book universe of Joker. It's like a whole new world. It's not even in New York or anything. It's Gotham City. It's completely fictional. And they didn't want to. And as I was watching it, I was like, okay, I don't sense what time period they're trying to like show here. Because they do have television, they have all these things, technologies, but also everything is so like old and the hairstyle is like 80s.
Yeah.
And then I was confirmed. The director was like, yeah, what we had in mind was 1981, 1980s kind of New York. But like at a time that everything was corrupt, like there were lots of like protests and everything going on in the city, and there was so much corruption in the government. So people were having so much trouble at the time. And here's the story of this guy, so grounded, so human. Like imagine Joker is so over the top in all the other movies that we've seen. And I haven't seen though, but like a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
we
leading-
as the collective.
That's
consciousness.
right. That's right. And it's like so over the top, so maniac and crazy in the ways that he does the stuff. And everything is so fictional. Like, I don't know, the methods that he uses. But this one is so human. We get to understand, actually, we get to diagnose this guy and like understand every reason for why he is the way he is. Like his complete backstory. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Damn. And it's so hard to do because everyone loves this Heath Ledger Joker who came around in Christopher Nolan's films. And everyone is obsessed, and people hate on any other Joker who ever comes around.
Yeah.
Okay. With like, it doesn't matter who the actor is, they will go hard. Like, I will only stand for Heath Ledger.
Especially because Heath Ledger died really young, and that was like probably his last role or something.
Right.
Everybody just has this idea of him, And
I mean, that performance is really hard to top.
Yeah.
Once you see it, you'll know. It's like fall in love immediately. You don't know anything about him, but you're so obsessed.
Dang.
So they had to go against this, and they had to give Joker a backstory. So this is another thing that is a no-no in the Joker universe. They say, don't ever say where this guy came from. We like that he's chaotic. He's an agent of chaos. He's the Prince of Darkness. Like, these are the things they call him. But here, this guy the director starts with like Joker in a therapy session. Like, that's so cool. He gives fan service. He's giving exactly what we want to see from Joker's life, plus like a really dark backstory that, as you say, it can have happened to someone, could have.
And it has so many plot twists. So like as they're giving the backstory, they show like they have this illusion that this is the answer, but then you realize, oh my god, no, everything we knew was wrong. And as the world of Joker is collapsing and he realizes all the people that supported him betray him in real life, you also get to be betrayed with him, because you didn't know that these are bad guys in his story, or like these are the ones that are gonna betray him. So like that's, I think, why you're really on his side, because you get betrayed one after another, and you're like, oh my god, enough is enough. Like, you better stand up, and I stand up with you.
Exactly. That they're really good at telling his story subjectively, just from his eyes, as opposed to from everyone's. So this all comes back to the director, Todd Phillips. What a legendary dude. Like, if you look at his filmography, everything else is a comedy, just straight up a comedy, like The Hangover series, It's just a bunch of guys who their friend is getting married, and they want to have one last party with him. But they go to Las Vegas and they lose their friend, the groom. So now these hungover dudes are looking for their groom friend.
Cow.
The bride is calling, where the fuck are you guys? So these are the kind of movies that he makes outside of Joker.
Shifts to something like this.
So dark, yeah. Yeah, and that's why this movie made so much money when it came out. I think immediately it became the highest grossing R-rated movie
Really?
in America.
And it got an Oscar, right? I think the actor got.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He got it for Joker.
That's amazing. So now
Joaquin
2
Phoenix.
Jokers have gotten Oscars.
Yeah. Oh, damn. And was it Heath Ledger that got the...
Yeah, but he had already died at that time.
Wow, no. Dang.
So this is a movie worth watching, well worth. Even you might think, oh, it's gonna be so dark and depressing.
Oh no, it's
But
actually
it's actually
funny.
yeah, and it ends on such a light note. I even forgot that this is how it ends. But this man, like, you go on the side of this psychopath, the mentally ill guy, and by the end you're like, actually, he is right. Let the world burn. He's actually starting a revolution here, and the world needed him at this time. So it's crazy how you go on this guy's side because of the storytelling.
How do we get this brainwashed, like, by the end, that you're like, oh my god, this guy's right? But, like, he is right, though. Like, take it. Everybody is so
Joker
corrupt.
was right.
Yeah. Everybody's so corrupt in that city. Like, imagine... there's like so much garbage protests and stuff. Like, garbage is everywhere. It's piling up everywhere, but nobody is addressing this issue. And then at the same time, there's an election, of course. And this person is just on the side of the Wall Street guys.
Exactly. And no funding is being cut from these social working communities.
I know. So, like, every government usually has a specific budget that they have for the people that are more vulnerable in the society. So it goes into rehabilitation, or like social workers, or goes to, for example, like support workers, or people that are like able to help people physically to do their day-to-day activities. So this social worker is under that category. And the fact that they're cutting off this, it's huge. It's incredibly like, it puts these people at such a risk, like socially and like economically. They just can't function anymore. They won't even be able to do their personal day-to-day things.
Exactly. And this guy, Bruce Wayne, he's coming to run for mayor. He's not addressing this at all. The only thing he's saying is these people need help. they're clowns and I will help them.
Yeah.
So really, you are on the side of this Joker guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even when for example, there's a scene where all these rich people are in a theater
Yeah.
and they're watching a movie called Modern Times and they're just laughing, ha ha ha, this is
And it's so
such a good time.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand the point of those kind of comedies.
Oh,
you
those are
know?
really good. We should watch
mean,
Modern
I
Times.
did watch some of like Charlie Chaplin kind of stuff, but like it's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? It's like,
It's because you haven't seen it recently. I
maybe.
also felt like that, and then I saw the clip here and I realized the genius of it, because it's like no words, right? It's silent, but it's comedy. You're laughing at this guy. Wow, why is he skating so close to the ledge? Like he was about to fall. He's skating over there. So it's very funny. But the irony is that they're watching a movie called Modern Times instead of like actually looking at the modern times and trying to help. These are super rich people who are like dressed up for the theater.
Yeah. And that's
Cool.
such a actually cool scene, because after Mr. Vane goes to the bathroom and this guy follows him as well, Joker, they have this conversation and you realize exactly what these kind of people need. Like what everybody needs, what every human needs. He says that, what about a hug, Dad? What about some warmth? Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, Anna was in her room like, I'll hug you.
Yeah,
Come over here.
I know. Like, that's exactly what every human needs. Just kindness, a little bit of love. What he needed most was a little bit of support and love, to a point that he imagined it from like this lover, this imaginary lover. And that's the intent of this director. He just studied so much about ego, about all the psychological disorders, about illusion, about narcissism and everything. And he talked to lots of people, researched a lot, and then they came up with this. And then the actor, though, they never talked about the character ever with each other.
Wow.
Like, can you imagine? Like, yeah, sure, the script, they would say these things, but never... They had this thing that the director sat down the actor and was like, this is how I see Joker, this is how
They never had this?
No. It's completely his interpretation of that. And they
That's
rarely
amazing.
talk with each other. I think even the guy, like the actor, Joaquin, is like totally... Why?
No, say it. I'm interested.
Oh, yeah. So this guy, I think he just doesn't talk as much, especially during this Joker. He just was eating 1 apple a day to keep the doctor away, I guess. And so that's it. Like, and imagine like there was like a few months later they would be shooting and he still had a lot of weight to lose. And everybody's like, so what is the plan? What are you going to do? Like, do you need a dietitian? Do you need someone, a doctor or something to help you out? He's like, no, I got this. So like minimal conversation and communication.
My God. Now, normally I would say that's horrible, but look at what it produced.
Yeah.
As something so good and very real.
Imagine you have such an actor, such a good actor, that you don't even have to tell them what to do. Like, they already know and they execute your vision to the highest potential. And even better than what you
exactly.
imagine.
Or even if it doesn't match your vision, it's so creative and
Yeah.
real to what the story needs.
Apparently, he did so much improvisation on the set. Like, he did so much of it. It was a chaotic set. Most of the things was, like, in the moment. You know that scene where he's, like, punching the clock? He's
yeah.
He's clocking out? That was completely
Damn.
improvised.
That's so
He
funny.
actually, I don't know if he broke his hand or something, but, like, he was really hurt. He just came back to the scene that he was supposed to leave and just started punching that shit.
That takes a level of confidence too. Because if it's awkward, like everyone will laugh at you.
But like, I think he was so embodying Joker that he was like literally Joker. Like, that's what he would do. And I think even behind the scenes, he was the same way too, probably. I don't know. He was
Yes.
method acting so
This
hard.
method acting thing blows my mind. So method acting is when you stay and live as the character, as opposed to just when the camera calls action, you go into it. You just start to eat like the character, talk like the character, and fully be them for the duration of the shoot. Method acting, famously, of course, Daniel Day-Lewis is doing this all the time. every single film of his, maybe he's made 5,
Yeah.
is a classic. You can study it for days, months. And so now you're saying this guy does the same thing. The issue I have with him is this role is so toxic. Like you say, one apple a day. He's shooting for 12, 14 hours and he's just surviving off of one apple.
Completely skinny. Like, I don't get it. At that point, you should have so many health issues.
Exactly. So many emotional issues after that. Probably if you can't eat well, you can't sleep well. And you're always in this dark mindset. Your hair is disheveled.
Your head is always like, you have this headache and it's buzzing all the time, probably. You're just not in your right mind. You're like in this cloud.
Uh-huh.
And it's a mentally ill character. So if you're method acting that, you become a mentally ill person.
Exactly. And you're always in your ego. And if you're thinking like the character, you're always thinking about people are doing me wrong at every turn that I go. So it's so toxic. He was probably in that for like 6-7 months. That's so crazy. Anna and I took an acting class. We
always
never
say
failed to bring this up. And for that, we would act maybe for a 10-minute scene. And if the character was toxic, I would get a headache. I would be like kind of angry the whole day, sweating, upset.
Everything would become dark. There would be like a filter that like turns everything just so wretched. And you know, I was like in the role that we were playing, I was the victim that was like crying and like running for his life, and obviously I got killed at the end. And then you were the killer here. You were the one that had to get angry. And slowly, very slowly, but you were the character that had so much resentment built up over the years, and like now it was like showing it. So that, even though it was like a small little scene in the theater, oh my god,
it had such an effect on us. And this man has been doing it for months for Joker.
Yeah,
he was doing it. Method acting is really something. Like, it's worth watching a movie just to see what the method actor brings to the table.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Because like each one of them are like so unique, obviously. Like, did Heath Ledger also method act? You said that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But he was so affected that apparently he died because of this. Dang.
Yeah, but you know what? People say Heath Ledger didn't die because of Joker, but look at his career. You know, he was doing comedy, fun stuff. He was growing.
He was young.
He was 28.
He was so healthy. Like, there should be no reason for this guy to die.
I know, he was 28 years old. He was like the youngest. And yet, exactly after Joker comes out, he's working, like he's reading another script at some point, and he dies in his bed.
With a script.
Yes, with the script in hand and just having taken too many medications. But it's got to be related because it's just such a toxic character. It's got to be somehow related.
Of course. I mean, like, wow. I can't believe, like, this character, Joker, is cursed, basically, what they say. Is that anybody who plays Joker, they should expect something really bad to happen in their life.
Except Joaquin. He played Napoleon. He's playing in Joker 2. He's thriving right now.
Yeah, that's right. Last year, we watched his movie, Napoleon. And, like, imagine that now he's come here again. In our theaters.
Such a different character, though.
Such a different one. His makeup. Okay, let's talk about the makeup of this Joker, or like his outfit, his iconicness altogether. Like this. First of all, this like Joker is so different from all the other ones.
I was gonna say, and he's wearing a coat just like yours too.
Yeah. So every Joker has to be a little different to just show their distinction from all the other Jokers from other universes and movies. And this is one of the best ones, I think. It's so beautiful. Like, it has the distinct lines or like makeup, but at the same time, it's not that predictable or like precise. It still is like in the moment. It's not that symmetrical. It's like fun.
And the smile is so beautiful because Joker, as crazy as he is, he has this kind of fun side to him. He is trying to bring joy, not joy, but like kind of dark comedy to the world.
Right.
That's his character. So I like that they have the big smile and they have the eyes that are being pulled open. this is so much better than Heath Ledger's makeup because on his face the paint is just pouring away.
So patchy.
Yeah, it's so patchy, and of course they have the lips just ripped, so there's just some red over that,
and
like, that was not
scars.
nice.
I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only problem I had with Heath Ledger's Joker, the only one that I kind of like just didn't encourage me to watch it at all, was the makeup. It's just so dry. Why
Yeah.
is it like that?
Well, that's a decision they made in the film. I will say, when you watch the movie,
Yeah.
even despite the dry face, you still fall in love with this guy, and you don't even know why.
Oh, damn.
With all the scars.
I was expecting to fall in love with Christian Bale as Batman, but no?
Not even a second.
Damn. Okay. And he has this black eye, the Joker, in that movie, right? The smudgy black eye and everything.
That's
The other Joker was Jack Nicholson, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he played in Shining. And he's just so weird. Did you see like his smile?
Yeah,
like
it's
it's being
so thin.
pulled.
Yeah, like needle pulled. And it looks like it's being pulled. Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a mask, basically, that he's wearing.
Right.
But yeah, one of my favorites, and like the dance here is just whoa.
Yes,
So iconic.
and it's so symbolic, anything with him being in a Joker suit, because something you mentioned last week, which was, well, I don't know if it was a poem, if it was just your poetic nature, you
wow.
mentioned it, but it was something about how everyone is a clown during the day, and that's how you act, and like God sees you as a clown, and you're just
Yeah.
jumping around and being
I
weird.
was just gonna say this is a Rumi basically story. It's an old ancient kind of like story. And it's about like God always sees you. It's about like this king and the minister and also a clown. And so, you know, all the kings had a clown in their court. And the clown would just entertain the king all the time. There was no television. Nobody was like, you know, there were no actors like that.
No Instagram?
No Instagram. There was no TikTok.
My
So, no YouTube. How would they live like that? And so the clowns were in charge of entertaining the king. But at a point, king would be like really get enough of this like stupid act of the clowns. Like at a certain point, like at first he's amused. Yes, it's fun and all. But like at a certain point, it gets so repetitive. It gets like so old. And he's like, get out of here. Like, I don't want you here anymore. And so that's basically is like a metaphor for God that will tolerate you. And he loves you, right? Till a certain point, until you get your lessons. Yeah, you get a lesson. You did something wrong. You do it again. You make another mistake. You make a mistake again. But if you make a mistake and fall for something over and over and over a million times, there would be a point that even God, who is this loving and like this accepting of you, he would get enough of your clown behavior.
Exactly.
And he would give you a lesson, you know?
I love this idea of just know that you're a clown.
Yeah.
Know this about yourself. It doesn't matter if you're making $1 billion, if you're the top of your class, if you are like so successful.
Yes.
You're a clown just because you're human. And so you are like living in this, literally you're living in this fake masked up
Yeah, you have
world.
this role in
You
this
put
world.
on, pretenses of what you want people to see you as, and you like act like you're happy if you're not. And so you are a clown, in the literal sense, with the makeup on, especially.
Yeah.
And then some women, mostly, but not everyone. And then, what was I gonna say?
Yeah,
about
you're
this?
a clown, and you have to accept that the sooner you accept this, the sooner your life becomes actually a comedy, like a light comedy. The thing is, like, yeah. Oh, do you want to say?
Just a quick thing. So that, with that in mind, every time we see Joker with clown makeup dancing or walking in the street, that's so symbolic because it means he's accepted that he is the clown within
Yes.
society. And they show that visually to us. Like, look, everyone is a clown here, but he's at least putting on the clothes.
Yeah, and you have this. You're like have this conflict. Is he being authentic or he's actually not authentic? What is the thing? Because he's
Exactly.
completely in his shadow side, but why at the same time he is his true self? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so difficult to put the distinction between these two. It's such a
Exactly.
fine line here. He's like he has accepted, and I think that's the first you know, he's out of that denial stage. He at least has walked past that, and he is in the acceptance. He has accepted.
Exactly. Like everyone
he is.
sees me as a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dress like a weirdo. Everyone sees me as a clown, not even a comedian, just a clown.
Yeah.
So that's how I will dress. And then also accepting that this is just this is how I do best. I want to make people laugh, so I put on this laughing face, but like I'm also, I don't know what he's trying to say. Like, I'm also love killing, so I have a gun in my pocket. But I just love the image of like this guy who's super showing how he feels on the inside with what he's wearing and what he puts on.
You know, I always tell people that are like, you know, for example, I tell people that are like a little serious, take everything so seriously in life, that the sooner you accept that you're like a clown basically, or like your life is all like a joke and a comedy, it will be so much easier for you. Like if you don't, life will make a joke out of you like no other. Like you just have to accept this. And I see so many rigid people, so many serious people, and I was there once, you know, I was one of those that took life so seriously, and so I was made a joke. And then after that, everything becomes so much lighter. So if you want to really like not get there, you better like seriously, like before life makes an example of you, try to just take nothing seriously. Just play around.
And that's why I think this guy, he was like chosen by God, or like God wanted to give him a lesson, and he had something in him that kept coming out, something in him that knew everything is a joke. And then himself, he is such a victim, and he was born into a family where his mom abused him and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Or we'll talk about
that.
Yeah, that. So he's born in this horrible Gotham world.
Right.
But then on the inside is his true self that is like super conscious. Like Joker is one of the more conscious characters to have ever existed. And this comes out in his condition, you know, this laughing condition that he has. So every time something just like crazy out of nowhere stupid happens, he starts to laugh. Like he can't even control it. For example, he's trying to make this kid laugh, and the mom is like, "Don't talk to my kid. I told you to don't do it." And so
I wanted to punch that woman so bad.
What a horrible one. But he as a person, he feels awkward and like just angry. But the ghost inside, the soul, is like laughing so much. and that's like God speaking through him.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
That's so crazy. And he's trying to fight it. He's trying to quiet it. He's literally trying to choke himself. And then again, this happens when, for example, they're throwing these jerk Wall Street guys are throwing fries to this girl, and they're just like being stupid. And the girl looks at Joker. And Joker, like in this moment of realizing, oh, you want me to help you in this situation? I can't even help myself. And so he's just laughing. And so
but like at this time, he's actually nervous. But this nervousness or like this anxiety kind of shows itself as the ironical way, which is laughing.
Right.
So yeah.
Exactly. And just if you think about it from the outside, it's like, imagine if God was sitting in that subway cart and he would see there's a girl minding her own business, and there's 3 idiot guys who never got a date wherever event they were at. And so now they're sitting here and throwing fries at this girl. You would laugh at this. Like, how stupid are you 3? That's so funny to me. And you think, oh, you could pressure me by like singing a creepy song and grabbing my wig. Like, do you think you could make me also fall to your knees? This is all so crazy funny. So Joker in this movie, they've given him this like underneath possessed kind of personality that he has that comes out to see whenever it sees the true nature of what's going on.
I love the way you interpreted that, because like for me it was like he's like neurodivergent, so he's like neurologic. What is it? His nervous system is completely dysregulated. So in a situation that he's supposed to be sad or like anxious, especially anxious, he laughs. So it's like everything is so, the wires are not connected to the right places, you know, it's just dysregulated. So that's why he's laughing. But at another level, it's actually that. It's literally this. Like he's laughing even though he's trying to suppress that. It's his real self.
Yes.
it's God basically looking at the absurdity of what is going on. And imagine like if you were playing like GTA or like a video game, and some three guys, like, you know, NPCs were throwing fries at a girl.
Exactly.
Like, I would laugh so hard.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
record that screen. I would put it probably like online on TikTok or something.
Exactly.
It's so funny. So like that's exactly with God too.
And they keep bringing this up, which I love, is they say that comedy is subjective. Why would you choose what's funny and what's not? And the same way, what's it called? Sanity is subjective. Why would you say that if I'm neurodivergent and like if I laugh in nervous situations that I'm crazy?
Absolutely.
What makes you decide that?
Yeah, who are these people that label others as these, like, they say, oh, this person has ADHD, this person has that. And then people buy into this. People love these labels, actually.
Yeah, and it's so horrible because how they choose it is based on patterns.
Yeah.
So like 99% of population doesn't have this. So this 1% is somehow like crazy or disorderly or something's wrong with them. They have ADHD. And so you put this label on, but what if those are the actual good people? Like what if we're all sheep and we just didn't mutate the right way, and this guy Joker did. And so his whole life he's been called, and he does say this at the end, like he realizes at the end mom was calling him the whole time. Crazy. But that's not.
I realized it after the second watch. It was like it's actually one of the first scenes where he is talking to the social worker, and he's like, yeah, my mom just said, and she's like, are you really mentally ill? And he's like, I don't know, my mom always told me, who knows? So the mom really put this in his mind. The mom brainwashed him from when he was really young. She was like, yeah, you're mentally ill. And that happens all the time, by the way. Like, we had this neighbor that had 2 kids, and she would always just tell them, like, you guys have ADHD. You guys are, really active. And she would just, you know, take them to this, like, doctors or, like, psychotherapists and try to fix them. There's nothing to fix with kids. There's nothing to fix with these guys. Like, accept them as they are. Why do we?
Exactly. The only thing that needs to be fixed is when you're too much in your mind.
Yeah.
Which is, it could be when you're in schizophrenic state, but even then.
That with loving. With loving, that could be fixed.
Exactly. Yes, with loving, with like talking through it out of respect. That, even this guy we talked about, John Nash, who was a mathematician, he was fixed from having this disorder. But that's like everyone on earth has this to an extent, is in their mind, just imagining things and living in that fake world. That's the mental disorder. Everything else is just the label that you're putting on people. Bipolar. Like, okay, this poor girl, like she just gets angry sometimes. Like you call her.
I know. Listen, before I even knew what depression was, I didn't even have that shit. Like, I didn't even experience something like that. The moment I came to fucking Canada and realized about this, somehow, you know, it just gets into you. Or like anxiety. I didn't even know what anxiety was. I never heard of that word when I was like, until even 9th grade. Can you believe that? I didn't even know what that shit was. But then I come here, I read about these things because I'm curious. And somehow magically I have that.
Exactly.
By putting labels on myself. And then sometimes when you have these labels, you want more labels. So you look for it because at least you could get a community, you know? So you go out there and look for, oh, this person says they have ADHD. Let me see what are the symptoms. Oh, I have some of these. And you like self-diagnose. And you're
Exactly.
Like,
Yes, I'm an introvert. I find it hard to talk to people at parties.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
What the fuck does that mean? We don't have these labels. What does it mean? That we identify ourselves as someone who can't talk in parties?
Yes,
that
like,
doesn't make sense.
That's such a overgeneralization. Instead of being specific, I learned about this too, and so I was always calling myself introvert, and this is why I find it hard. But really, if you didn't know about these labels, you would take it interaction by interaction.
Yeah.
Like at a party, I was able to talk to 20 people, maybe not 1,000. But then you wouldn't just say, oh, okay, I can't actually talk to people. Like, you would just take it day by day, second by second, which is what we keep talking about. Let's have a revolution, get rid of all these labels, get rid of psychotherapy in general.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I wouldn't get rid of, though, is always fantasizing about this one thing. Talk shows. I would love to go on a Jimmy talk show, you know, that Tonight Show or something. I always fantasize about that.
Yeah, I would fantasize about this from the age of 13, as soon as I arrived in Canada, until like maybe 15, 16, maybe 17.
Wow.
I would fantasize about it all the time. And this is one of the reasons that I was shattered when I watched this movie called The King of Comedy. The King of Comedy is the movie that Joker is based on. So Taxi Driver, but also The King of Comedy.
Wow.
Both movies made by Martin Scorsese. Joker basically copied it. But anyway,
Damn.
King of Comedy is about this guy who wants to be a comedian, and he's like writing jokes and everything. And he always imagines himself being on these talk shows, but he's just not that funny, and he's just not that good. And so in a pursuance, that's not a word. In a way of trying to get to the talk show, he goes and kidnaps. Pursuit, yes,
Yeah.
in the pursuit.
Oh.
It's okay. He kidnaps the host, and so now he's trying to like get him get to be on the show. Yeah, and this sounds like a comedy, but it's like the most cringy, hard to watch, because it's exactly a mirror to show your own life, how you fantasize about being on these shows, how you live in your mom's basement and are like setting up couches to think about like this is how it would go. So when I watched that at 17, I was like, oh God, okay, I'm gonna try never to fantasize about this again.
Yeah.
But it's such a earth-shattering film, The King of Comedy.
King of Comedy.
I was gonna recommend that we watch it this week at the same time as Joker, but
Really?
it really takes like a.
Oh, damn.
It's hard to get through so many awkward interactions this guy has.
Well, plot-wise, it's so similar to Joker.
Yeah, for sure.
And vibe-wise, the Taxi Driver is literally this movie. Oh my God. And even Robert De Niro is playing in this. What a betrayal.
and even Martin Scorsese was supposed to direct it first.
No way. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So this story wasn't like by this director?
I
He
think
didn't write
so.
this?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Ah, dang. I thought, well, I saw this BTS kind of like documentary kind of thing, and he was saying that he just explored his backstory from like, just he started it, you know? Like,
Maybe he started it and he wanted Martin to direct it. I know at some point in 2017-18, Martin's name was on the posters and everything.
really?
He was going to direct. And then at some point he rejected because he said, these ideas are too similar to the two movies I already made,
yeah.
Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. I'm glad Todd Phillips made it. It's like when you steal from a movie, that's okay as long as you still make a good movie out of it. I would watch it.
You know, one thing that was so relatable was the comedy career that he wanted to take in, you know? Everybody's
hard
been there.
to
We've
watch.
been there. Oh my God.
God.
Yeah, this clubs that he went to. It reminded me of the comedy club we went to as well.
Exactly.
The Jokers there were something, you know? They had the potential to become the Joker.
Yeah, so we went to a comedy show. It was
So funny.
1 hour of just crickets. People are heckling.
Yeah.
The comedians are sweating.
Although I have to say, I was laughing though.
Oh, I was laughing a lot too.
Yeah.
If
No,
you go
I
to
was
a
just
show-
like Joker in the, what is it, these comedy clubs, you know, the only one that is laughing.
and I'm laughing at all the wrong times.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
God.
Yeah. Should we try his laugh as well? How was he laughing exactly? Was it... Damn! Okay.
So crazy.
Something like a seabird or
Seagull.
something. Seagull, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a seagull.
And it's completely fake too. Like in the movie, sometimes he would just go silent after laughing. He was never really laughing, you know? He would just be like,
I wonder, I didn't research about this. How do people with actually this disorder laugh, you know?
Oh, that's interesting.
But I guess like it's not a real laugh, obviously, so you could distinguish it between like a real laugh and a fake one.
In the movie, he would just do a little chuckle or like a smile if something was really funny to him. Just kind of like that. But then he was faking it like, ha ha ha. Those were always fake. But the comedy scene, as you're saying, I love that they showed a real set that he did. And it was so hard to watch. Oh my God. Like he's just standing there and the acting is so good. He's laughing, crying, choking himself.
so
Silent room.
awkward.
Oh my god.
But I would have supported him though. Go, baby, go.
I don't think so. No, I doubt it. If you didn't know him,
Oh,
You're
no,
just like,
no,
why
no.
are you up there?
I would be just like that girl that was supporting him. His girlfriend.
maybe.
Yeah.
And even he says one good joke, but people
Yeah.
just don't take it for
It's the
what it
delivery.
to be.
That's
Yes, the
important.
delivery is horrible. So his joke is, what is it? Not the horrible joke. This is his horrible joke where he says, "Oh, when I was young, I hated school, but my mom said you should pay attention because you're gonna get a real job." And then I was like, "No, mom, I'm gonna become a comedian." There's no punchline even. That's just a sentence. So that's a horrible joke. But then his next joke is, when I told people I wanted to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. No one's laughing now. That's such a funny joke because like he's a comedian and no one's laughing at him. That's so good. But he
Self-depreciating.
I know.
That's like amazing.
That's so good. But the way he delivered it was like this. When I was young, people told me I couldn't do stand-up comedy, but look who's laughing now. Well, actually, that's still funny though. So I feel
No,
that.
it's because you know why it doesn't come out as funny when
Mm.
he's delivering it, because he thinks that people are actually laughing. He thinks he's good. If he was, he
Mm. Yeah.
didn't. You know. Oh my God.
It's so hard to watch.
The thing is, for me, it's not the fact that his jokes are not good that I'm like not really happy in that moment, but it's because I feel so much pity for him. But I don't want to feel pity. I love him as a human. Like, he's normal. He's all good, you know? But why? Like, did you see his notebook? The jokes he had like
That was
that?
so amazing. And another great joke of his was
And
like,
he's trying to write it, and he has this goal
yeah.
of becoming a comedian. And
that's
like,
amazing. And even the fact that he's up there performing, that's so good. But like you say, he doesn't know himself that he's not funny. I guess he just thinks everyone is laughing. Like he just hears the laughs in his mind.
yeah.
But for example, another great joke he wrote in his journal was, "I just hope my death makes more sense than my life."
That's so brilliant.
He never brought it up on stage. So these are the kind of things that I'm just like, why weren't you going with your strong material up there?
Yeah.
And why were you delivering
He's
it like
actually
that?
really, really intelligent. Like this kind of jokes like that, my life would make more sense than that. This is such good writing. Like he
I
can
know.
make really like high level intelligent jokes. And those kind of jokes, people usually don't laugh at them.
Exactly.
It's more like, wow, you're clever. You know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a clever guy. That's the kind of thing. Like there are 3 types of humor. You have either the low kind of like everybody general humor that everybody laughs at. You have the middle one, the average one. The average think they're really good. They don't like the low one. But at the same time, it's not good at all. It's totally average. And then you have the high humor, which is like for intelligent people. Like intelligent people, though, they find the low humor funny, and they find high humor, like high level humor funny, but not the average.
Interesting.
Yeah. So here's the thing: like he is the high level one.
Exactly. So that's why probably we like him, because he's good at something. He's just not given the opportunity. That's not even fair to say. He maybe just should have done more. Like instead of killing those 3 guys, that became his downfall. He should have just kept. But what I was gonna say is he's even journaling. He's journaling
Look at
so
that.
much, like with photos, with writing about exactly how he feels. That's what people say you should do. And then this therapist, this idiot therapist,
Oh
is
God.
looking at it like,
Judging.
judging,
That's the
judging.
number 1 rule that you shouldn't do as a therapist. You should not judge your client at all. Like not even a client.
Seriously.
As a human being, you should just not judge another person that is going through something, that is being vulnerable to you, at least.
I know.
And look at...
And
she's like-
even in this case, like it's a great thing too. The fact
Yeah,
that it's a
and
journal.
he's so authentic. Like in his
Yeah.
journal, he has these pornographies. I know
Yeah.
it's really crude and bad, but at least it's a journal. That's the thought process he had at the time, and he's recording that.
Exactly.
It's better than me, who always writes lies in my journal. I don't
Oh,
know what
really?
yeah, well, you know, I wouldn't write about what I found so like turning me on or something.
You should.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, I write everything.
Dang.
I'm sometimes worried, like, if somebody finds my
That's
journal, it
the
will be.
thing, yeah.
Because I'm just like, okay, I'm so mad at my mom. She's so stupid.
Oh, yeah, those
and,
things. Sure.
and I'm like, okay, if she sees this, she's going to be. Because I'm, it's just in the moment. Then the next day, you're like so in love. Everything is
Yeah,
great.
right? But maybe I'll start writing about Joaquin Phoenix.
Please do.
Why is his name this weird? It's Joaquin, but it's like Joaquin. I want to like pronounce
Joaquin
it.
is so
'Cause it's
beautiful.
J. Joaquin Phoenix.
Too bad he's married and has kids.
What?
Is he not?
Why are you doing this to me? What do you get out of this?
Just a quick
You
dopamine
just
hit to see you
killed
get
him
her.
on everything. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god. What do
yeah, well, people could still cheat.
Yeah. That's right.
The silver lining.
But like, at least I could put myself at Lady Gaga and like imagine myself.
Oh
being
no,
with her.
you're gonna go into the fantasy land.
Oh yes. Yes. At least for this movie, just on October 4th.
Okay, just this one day. I'll let you. One other thing that this guy does a lot is thinking he's a victim. So much, he's always doing that. So he is a victim
He's
in
a
that
victim.
his mom abused him. Okay, that's horrible and that affects
Let's
you.
see how the mom abused him,
Okay.
right? This woman who had nothing, basically she was just a servant, also dependent on someone else, adopted this boy.
Why?
How could they even give this boy to her, you know? She's not even stable. And she had so many problems. Like, she was totally mentally ill, a narcissist. And you don't actually believe that at first because she's a sweet old lady. But no, she's actually a psychopath. She had this relationship with another guy, and this guy abused her son. Her
Abused
adopted.
in ways that, oh God, if that
I
happened,
can't
you
imagine
even
how
live.
often did it happen.
Yes, they found the son tied up to the radiator, heat burning him. The son had bruises all over him, and he hadn't been fed for 3 days or something. This kid.
And I imagine he was also probably like
What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah,
raped
for sure.
Of course. And mom knew. And mom knew about this. So
Or maybe mom didn't know because
no, mom knew. They said that in the movie. Yeah.
what's wrong with her? Why?
I know exactly. And you know that scene where he's like, he has this like app, what is it? The whole file of her mom, of his mom. And he's like reading this and he's imagining himself in the clinic when his mom was young. And mom is talking to this psychotherapist as well. And that's where she admits that she knew about this.
But what she says is he was always such a quiet kid, so I didn't know he was crying. Here's one thing I'll bring up. No way they would have given an adopted child to this woman.
Yeah, that's also right.
Okay. And maybe in the 80s though, I don't know. But today you would have to be 2 parents, you would have to have a stable income, a house, you have to like do tests to make sure you're not crazy. And then, so with that in mind, what if Bruce Wayne actually is the father and Bruce Wayne did impregnate her, but because she's crazy, he just threw her away and said gaslighted her, and no one's going to believe this crazy woman. Like, she has some issues. Everyone's put a label on her. And then they just said, yeah, no one's going to believe you. Like, we'll say you adopted this guy, and they threw her out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, why would she even want to adopt a baby, right?
Yeah,
at
and that
stage.
situation.
And
yeah.
she's probably like a whore or something at that stage or something. Like, she's probably sleeping. I'm sure she slept with Bruce Wayne. That's why he's triggered, you know?
Exactly.
And that happens all the time to rich people. Like, they always sleep with their servants.
Yeah, and she was a pretty woman.
Yeah.
We saw the photo of her. And behind the photo, it said, I love your smile / Bruce Wayne. Like, whatever. This guy, dad of Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
So that man was writing, I love your smile behind a photo of this young woman. Like, if she was just a servant. No. They were sleeping together. And she kept the baby because she was like, okay, this is Wayne's son. I'm going to be set for life.
Yeah.
He's going to pay for everything. Even though she was crazy, she knew this much. And then Wayne threw her out.
Damn, that makes so much sense. Okay, even though I was convinced with the adoption story, But I'm like, that can't happen, really. Like, even at that time, maybe.
And that makes it so cool because Batman and Joker are rivals and yet they're brothers. That's so cool.
Fuck. Can you imagine it could be a whole like Lion King story all over again? Or like a Mega Mind kind of thing. Oh, this is
That's right.
good.
And I love that Joker is so much older. This is fun.
Yeah.
Batman is like a young, dumb kid.
I know. Why did they do this? What is up with this age difference? Why is there no Batman in the second movie? Or like...
Yeah, and this kid is like so brain dead. He has no thoughts going on in his mind. Like this weird guy comes to your door.
And he's like touching you. He's giving you these like...
Through the gate, he's putting his hand in your mouth. You're just standing there not even
taking
saying
it like
anything.
a good boy. What the hell is wrong with you? Did your mom not teach you not to talk to
He
strangers?
didn't learn anything. He's like, yeah, my name is Bruce. This is my home. Put your hand in my mouth.
Yeah.
Let's go on. Get on with it. Like, what's the next step?
If
here?
you want some money, anything, man, just let me know. Yeah, hit me up. Do you want the keys to my house? Like my SIN number or something?
I know.
What?
He's so dumb in this movie, Bruce.
And he's so old too. Like he's at least 11 or 10 years
Yeah,
old.
so
And
we
still,
can't
like,
say he's too young.
Yeah.
He's wearing a trench coat. It's like a Burberry trench coat he's wearing in the backyard.
Rich guy like that, yeah. And then he's like, he just sees this weird man over there and he starts to follow him like this. What is wrong?
What are you doing? Yeah, so that's like not a realistic character, but funny. It
Yeah.
was funny to see.
It was funny. And at that point, even Joker was not going to do anything to him because he's like, oh, that's my brother, you know?
I guess. But he could have.
Yeah.
Joker's morals are like up and down.
That's so right. And you know
And the kid didn't know that. The kid didn't know this is my brother.
Yeah.
So why would he trust?
Oh my god. So true. So true. You know, but I have to say, like, it took a long time for Joker to get used to killing.
Uh-huh.
Almost. You know, he was getting bullied all the time. He's getting bullied all his life. And even he says this in the talk show. I love this. I like this monologue. Where he's like, if it was me getting killed, you'd walk all over me. But no, because it's 3 Wall Street guys. And what? Because Mr. Wayne Vincent talked about him on the talk show?
Exactly. And he's so right. You look at these homeless people who are dying, no bed, no nothing, and you just walk past them. But in the news, if you hear, oh, this guy has such a future, he's been killed.
And the thing is, this guy is not even homeless, right? Like, it's not like you could excuse that, oh, he made so many terrible choices in his life that he's like, he's a normal kind of person. Like, he's a vulnerable member of the society, you know? He still supports his mom instead of just making his mom a burden to society, you know, instead of like making government pay for her mom's, like, I don't know, stuff, or making an insurance company pay for that.
Exactly.
I don't know.
He has
He's taking
2
care of-
jobs. Yeah, he's dancing in the hospital to make money. He's such a normal guy.
He's working literally. So what is the excuse of like bullying this guy, beating him down, and nobody to take care of him or bat an eye at all? For his well-being. I don't understand, because like if you walk down the street and see this guy and see like he's working and he's doing these things, you wouldn't know that he's a weird person at first sight. So why wouldn't you like do anything at all about that?
Yeah, but when he's saying if it was me, he's mostly referring to like if I was wearing my clown costume, or if my hair was disheveled, or if I didn't have an outfit like yours and you saw me suffering, you wouldn't even look my way.
Yeah.
He's not referring to like him. He's just referring to everyone who is below this high class.
That's right.
Probably.
Yeah. And they made this whole clown thing a symbol. So everybody is like using him as a symbol for their revolution, basically. So
It
good.
can be. Just before we go to the revolution, I was going to write here. At Bruce Wayne's house, by the way, they might not as well have the gate even, because this man is like putting his finger in the kid's mouth, choking the other guy. It's like, why is there a gate? Just take the gate off and let's have a real conversation.
What's the point?
Like, this man has a whole castle and mansion and stairs, and he lets himself get choked right at the gate. Like you're the bodyguard. Why are you getting choked right now? So I was just like, why?
Wow, that's the real question here. It's so important. Like, what's the point of that fucking gate? That gated community. There's like nothing. Oh my god.
Literally, everyone gets brought
He might
right
as
to the
well
front.
just be in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might as well live there, you know?
Yes, he has their life and death in his hands, like through the gate. So I was so confused at that time. And again, like I just had to tell you, Bruce let this man put his fingers in the mouth. What? Why wouldn't you move back? Like at that point, why wouldn't you just do this?
He's like inviting that. Yeah, he wasn't choking him. He could move back.
Yes, bro. So that means
He's
like just
that
watch
feels
that
good.
scene. Seriously, check that scene out again. It's super silly.
Bruce is problematic. Oh my god. And he's being abused too.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like taking it. Oh.
Yes, and even if it was just Bruce, I would say okay. But then his bodyguard is getting choked. This man is so thin. He can't even do anything, and you let
As
him
a
choke you.
Wow.
Oh, God.
You're right. This guy's a stick. He
Yeah.
can't do anything. He would break just like that. If a wind came, he would just be blown away somewhere.
But maybe it shows how complicit you, or not even complicit, but what's the word? Like conformist you are to, or maybe you just trust too much. When you
Oh.
trust the world too much, you might get choked. I don't know what it's saying. I think mostly they're just like trying to up the tension where the guy grabs over the gate, but like that shouldn't be happening because there's
It
a
is
whole
funny.
gate.
It's totally so funny.
Now we were talking about this people using this man's look for their own revolution and
Yeah,
for their
but at
own
the
needs.
same time, the Joker himself is not political whatsoever. He doesn't even, he says it himself, and also he doesn't use it that way. He's just offended, basically. His ego is hurt that he was made fun of on national TV and Murray has invited him here. So he's like, yeah, this guy betrayed me and I killed my mom too, so I have nothing to lose, really. And everybody else is using me for the revolution. Okay, whatever. I don't know.
I'll just dress how I want.
Yeah.
That's fair. As soon as he comes on the show, though, and he starts talking, we realize he is actually very political.
Yeah.
Everything he says, he thought he wasn't part of that revolution, but he's realizing now that revolution is actually what I've been fighting about. I just didn't know. So after the Murray show, when he comes out, you see him take part. He comes out and he's happy to be
He's
there, and
so
people are pulling him up.
Yeah.
So what is this revolution? I really want to talk about this one. What is going on is people are dressing up like clowns, and their signs are saying like, we are all clowns and kill the rich and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what does it all mean? What do you think? What's the point of
Basically,
there?
when Mr. Wayne was on the TV show, he was like, yeah, these clowns, he's the clown. He'll always be the clown that just killed these 3 amazing like guys, young guys. And that's who he is. And that's how he dresses as well. And so basically people are like, yeah, you see us, you always ignore us, and you ignore that person as well. And basically, we are just clowns to you, you know? The only people that you care about, that you would address at all, is the rich people. Like, at this time, there are so many problems happening, right? There's the garbage strike. There's so many people that are like, yeah, you cut off all the budget that we could have used, or like the support that we could have had. And now, instead of addressing those things at all, like talking about it even a little bit, no, you're choosing to just talk about 3 people of your own class that got killed by
Exactly.
someone from our class.
While we
So
are getting killed
clowns
every
too.
day.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so they're like, okay, we'll dress up like clowns then if that's how you
if
see
that's
us.
how you see it. Yeah.
And then we will now disrupt. Probably they will stop going to their jobs after this rally. And they're breaking things and they're stealing things. They're like, okay, if we're not part of your society, then we'll act like it.
Yeah.
We will actually disturb it. So in that way, when I saw that, I realized this is a great movement. In one level, you see, okay, this is like a bunch of kids who just want to put makeup on and come into the street and complain about something. Sure. But in another way, this is a huge revolution in the universe of Gotham. Gotham's lifetime. Like, as you say, it's filling up with garbage. The streets you can't even walk down. It's so unsafe and people are going crazy. And so within this timeline, these Joker people who are ruining everything, going on strikes, breaking windows, these are the ones who are going to bring about a change to fix up Gotham. Now, we know like Gotham is not going to get fixed because Batman is going to come around and just start arresting the Jokers one by one.
Fuck.
But just think about outside of this, like within our own society, what we've seen happen is there has been some murders, there has been some deaths before there could be some kind of revolution to make things better. So in that way, like Joker killing Murray on a talk show is the biggest act of this revolution, really, because everyone is brain dead watching Murray at night.
Yeah.
You know, this whole society, and they're forgetting about their problems by doing this. So forget about
It's a
Murray.
wake-up call.
Yeah, exactly. And forget like he has a family, forget he exists. Just the idea that I'm going to kill this talking man who you guys are all watching.
Symbol of
Wealth
media.
and of media, So imagine like he's making such a move that's going to make a huge impact for the society.
Yeah.
They're going to be heard eventually.
Yes, that's right. It's actually the best move he could ever take because like that's the place that his voice would be heard.
And it's live too. It will go right out.
Yeah.
And everyone is watching that. So if we stop judging him and saying, oh, he's killed someone, that's horrible, we see, oh, he has a bigger plan. Maybe if he doesn't even realize it, but all these clowns are trying to bring about a change.
Yeah. And the beauty of it is that it's not even a plan. It's like Joker is all about chaos. He's just like in the moment thing. And especially like at the end, he's so alive. He's just living so spontaneously all the time. Like, you know, and that's the best way to live. Now, whatever path you're on, it doesn't matter, you know, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't matter, seriously. Because we would think maybe he's a villain in other movies that we've seen. But here we see he's just living his truth. And within that, even though some people get killed, some change is going to come about into Gotham.
Right.
Change is so important. You
That's
can't just
true.
stay the same. There's got to be some kind of...
And yeah, people are going... It's like he brought this whole new wake-up movement to them. Yeah, you know, everybody was asleep. Everybody was asleep in this city, this whole town. Even the people that were suffering, they were not willing to take any action or change themselves even. So now this movement is changing people themselves at a personal level as well as rich people to realize that they have to change their methods.
Seriously.
Yeah, whatever way.
And probably that's why we forgive him killing people. For example, you and I talked about There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
The iconic Daniel Plainview there, who I said was a good man, and you kept saying, no, this is a bad guy. And imagine that guy just killed one man. We judge him so hard.
Damn.
But this man, he's like gonna probably kill thousands going forward.
The thing is with that guy, like Daniel Plainview, who did him wrong, really? But this guy, everybody's doing him wrong at every turn. Like, yes, please go do whatever you want, I guess.
I agree with you too, because Daniel Plainview, the guy he kills out of revenge. He literally just wants, like, I'm more stronger than you now, so I will kill you and I'll beat you because you made my life hard for a few years here. But this man, like we said, like he's starting a movement. Like everyone's watching you. You're a nothing nobody. You're just dancing on TV and lying about what the city is. So I'm going to clean you out of this world.
Dang. And he becomes so charismatic every time he is actually himself and Joker. And we could argue, is Joker his shadow or is it his true self? It's definitely his shadow. But at the same time, there's so much energy and life in it too. So I don't know. I seriously don't know what it is.
I don't think it's his shadow because his fake self is this timid guy who will always take it, let people talk to him, and he's nice
like,
and
in his fantasy even, he's not completely himself. It's like this guy that is anxious and then he stands up and it's like, yeah, my mom told me I could be a comedian or like something like that, and I take care of my mom, and everybody's laughing at him. But Moray is like, oh, you're like the son that I never had or something like that. So like
That's
he's
not the real him, even in his fantasy.
exactly. He's like so timid, and you're like, oh, come on, what are you doing?
This guy, Joker, here's why I think also he's on this shadow side. So I agree with you. He says, I haven't been happy a minute of my entire fucking life. Well, we've seen you smile just throughout this movie.
This
So-
Joker says that.
Yeah. So why would you live with such a victimizing yourself? You haven't been happy a minute? I know you've had a sad life, but you were happy at least 1 minute throughout this life.
Well, you can't judge a person, even if somebody is thinking of themselves as a victim, you still can't judge them because in their shoes, you would be them or worse. So, like, even if they are in the victim mentality, I'm like, okay, you have a right to choose to be that. Whatever you choose, like, it's your reality. If you choose to be, like, a victim, that's okay. And if
That's true.
But I do agree, like, I'm not opposed to this victim thing for him at least because see all the things he's been through, and I know he could have like pulled himself out of it, but he didn't know better, and then by the time he could have, it was too late. Like he's too old and he's living with his mom
That's
at
so
that
true.
point, and everything is going wrong, and
He never had a good family to teach him. Schools at the Gotham were messed up.
Yeah.
The city itself is dangerous. He just grows up with this. So for him, the best path was this, to become this
Yeah.
revolutionary, to try and make the change.
I guess so. But the only thing that concerns me is that he's not even worried about people at all. He doesn't care about that or like the revolution or what happens. He's just all about himself, you know? That, oh, I'm having fun now. Yeah.
That's true.
Everybody's recognizing me. I wanted this all my life.
I wonder how Joker 2 is going to be like. Is he going to just focus on this romance? Is he going to be taking notice of what's happening in the world? Is he
Apparently,
gonna
he's
scheme?
like really into. Well, he's in a prison. He's in a court. I've seen the trailer, and he like. This may be a plot twist or something. He killed a judge with like this thing that he has.
So he goes into his shadow side then,
He,
for sure.
He does. There are lots of dancing with Lady Gaga. There's lots of dancing with Harley Quinn. And so, yeah, lots of in the prison. Lots of talking in the prison and giving speeches, being on stage. So he does become this public figure that government can't get rid of. Because, like, imagine if you become a symbol of something or, like, there are a set of people that believe in you, you can't kill that opposition. You can't kill that symbol. No matter how much you hate it.
Because it will be replaced again?
No, because people will turn against you.
Oh.
They're like, oh, you kill. So that happened, for example, in Iran even. Shah couldn't kill or like get rid of this leader of revolution even when he was in his grasp because there were at that point there were too many people that were his followers. So if he killed him, everybody would tear the Shah, his family and all his legacy and everything to pieces. Yeah, people would become too angry. So public opinion is so important. It's more important than anything else.
Now, the reason I know this man is not doing as well as we hope, like we talk about, is at the very end, last scene, there's a therapist talking to him. And this therapist is listening. So unlike the therapist from before, she's saying, how are you? Are you doing well? How are you liking it here? Tell me, what are you laughing at? She's listening. And then he kills her and he walks out of the room with bloody feet. Do you remember?
I didn't notice that he killed her.
Yeah, like why? What's the reason? So that makes me think. At that point, he just likes killing. He's not even doing it for a reason at that point.
Yeah.
He just likes the power it gives him.
That's the thing. I didn't realize that happened at the end.
It's so bad because this whole time we thought he was after somebody to listen to him.
Yes.
That's why he wants to go on a talk show. That's why he's like, therapist, please listen. And then at the end, some girl is listening. And still he's like, oh, you wouldn't get this joke.
Oh, there it is. So now he's like drunk on this. He's like, oh, I get life from killing someone or from this power that I have. Like, I already am so powerful. I get life from this. So he got it wrong again. He was kind of on the right track, though. Like,
Yes.
you know, being a spontaneous, living in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just that. But, and speaking his truth on the talk show and everywhere. But he did that? Oh my God, that changes everything.
Yeah, that makes me think that
Jokers.
like what you said before is you would never be able to recover after you kill. And this I've heard a few times is like when you kill someone, it's like a part of your soul gets ripped away too.
Yeah,
And so
that's the
maybe
thing.
he just his soul keeps getting ripped apart until at this point he doesn't have any of the same goals as he had
That's
before.
the thing.
He's just a different guy.
Narcissist people have dead eyes. They have complete dead eyes. You could see that. You could realize that if you see it in person. There's just no life in it. And that's what Robert Greene said, by the way. So, like, they just don't have that spark anymore. They don't have this kind of, like, life energy. You've seen Joker in a lot of scenes in this movie. He's trying to study other people, see what's their reaction, and then tries to imitate that reaction. That's what a psychopath would do. So a psychopath doesn't have empathy. They can't regulate emotions properly, or they can't feel emotions at all. So they think that if I don't have emotion, I'm not human. I don't seem like a human. So they try to look at other people, see what is their emotion at the moment, and they try to imitate that. So they don't know whether to laugh or to cry at a situation. So, for example, at this moment, I would just look at you and see, like, what you're doing, what is your reaction, and I try to, like,
Just copy
reflect
it.
that
Yeah.
completely. Yeah. And it's so creepy.
But you're now saying narcissists are psychopaths? Are you comparing these two together?
But he's a narcissist, basically. And these are the kind of people that, as I said, like, have the dead eyes. They don't have that life anymore. But also psychopath is like a different thing. Psychopaths, they don't have emotions. Like, they don't regulate emotions properly. They don't have empathy, which is really hard because, like, if you can't have empathy, you can't put yourself in another's shoes. And that's what he said at the end too. In the talk show, he was like, nobody's civil anymore, and nobody is thinking of what the other person is feeling or something like that. And that's basically you, motherfucker. You don't feel that way too. You don't put yourself in anybody else's shoes, and you don't have empathy. So, like, basically he's just also projecting what he is to others, but that's how psychopaths are. And there were so many scenes, like, for example, in the comedy club, he was looking at other people to see like what are they doing, but he would always get it wrong because he would laugh at the wrong times.
And that's so tragic because he wants to be a comedian, but he doesn't even know what's funny.
Yeah.
Damn, that hits home. For any kind of, I guess anyone, but especially for artists, when you feel like, oh, I want to pursue art, but I can't even do the simplest thing related to this. Like, I find it challenging.
Heartbreaking. It's especially when they don't have anything, and that's the only thing that gives them hope and little life to keep going.
I know. You messaged me saying this kiss that they did was so romantic when Joker comes into the room and just throws himself onto her. And I was watching that like, what? Romantic? This man is coming from a murder scene. He's sweaty. He is bloody. He's got smell of murder on him, smell of Subway on him. And he's like, just goes and kisses this girl, and she's so into it.
And that's the sexy part of it. Come on.
No.
Come on, who's with me?
No one. There's no way anyone.
Bro, he's like really powerful at that point. He's like walking like that. He has this suit or something on. His hair is like this, and he has this confident walk. And he's done something like he's a man now.
Oh wow! I think if you were in the situation, you'd be like, just don't touch me. Go away. You smell like death, literally.
Yeah, I know. But like in theory, it's a sexy thing. Come on.
Yeah, if you're coming from like the shower, if you're clean, your hair's done, and then you do that, yeah. But not
that's
if
such
you're
a
smelly.
sissy thing. Like, you want a man, a man that has like their testosterone is so high at that. His testosterone is so high. He just killed another man. It's like a gorilla that like just killed his rival and is coming to mate. So,
oh God. But it was all in his mind, so we're okay with that.
Yeah, that's true. Fine. But we'll see how he is and how sexy he is in Joker 2.
Probably not that much, but Anna will like it anyway.
Yeah. That's right.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We had a great time talking about Joker and all the complexities of this bro's character.
And I keep saying Joker 1, but at that point they didn't know a Joker 2 would come. So like, why would they say it's Joker 1, right? It's like World War 1 and 2.
Yeah, they call it Joker 1?
No, they
Okay.
don't. I just do.
Okay.
And yeah, no, it's wrong. Thank you so much for watching this episode.
Check out
And
some of our other episodes, films by Martin Scorsese, especially the
Taxi
director
Driver.
who invented this genre of film. And
did, literally.
check out in the future, very soon, Joker Part 2 is coming to
that's
the podcast.
coming. And we're going to do a quick review after that, just after it came out. So tune in for that one.
Thank you. And do recommend us any stories that you know that are as enticing as this one. Psychological and
It's toxic.
toxic for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.